them from responding to our escalations.
I mean, let's think about the historical ignorance reflected in those kinds of attitudes. Because there is this talk, oh, if only we supply Ukraine with some Taurus missiles and maybe some other, U.S. cruise missiles, that that will turn that'll turn the tide in this war, ignoring the fact of looking at how many missiles and rockets and bombs that Russia has launched on Ukraine over the course of the last 44 months. I mean, an astonishing volume. And it's caused significant damage to Ukraine, but it hasn't caused the damage to the point that Ukraine is now collapsing. Well, similarly, can anybody argue that the West with Ukraine can produce even a fraction of the volume of missiles and launch those against Russia? Forgetting that, let's assume worst case. Let's assume that Ukraine gets that, and they start attacking. Within these missiles have a range of like 300 to 400 miles. There's the thing called the Ural Mountains in Russia, just like the Soviets did back in after they were attacked by Russia in Operation Barbarossa in June of 1941. They literally packed up the factories in the Donbass and moved them to the east of the Ural Mountains, where Germans couldn't reach them. And frankly, if the current Russian government decided to do that, they could move it into places that the West couldn't touch. And the West keeps forgetting Russia covers 11 time zones, and they can actually locate troops and facilities in a place that they can't be touched. Whereas Ukraine, there's not a single space, a plot of ground in Ukraine where they can put together a training camp and safely assemble soldiers and train them without them being attacked and destroyed. They can't just keep moving to the west, because then they're in Poland or they're in Germany. There is no military path forward for Ukraine, period. And it's just, it's a foolish fantasy. But Russia's pressing, they're continuing to press forward. They're under no time constraint. They don't have a ticking time clock saying that, oh, you got to be done in the next 30 seconds. I know there is some frustration on the part of some of the military guys I've spoken to. They tend to be more the enlisted folks.